Let's freaking go. The Alabama Crimson Tide have done it again, beating Kirby Smart and the undefeated Georgia Bulldogs. They were the last team to actually beat Georgia, of course, a few years ago in this same exact spot. And you see something here in the background where a lot of teams have really struggled with just spying Jalen Milroe, and they get a huge sack right here. All right, so Georgia has the football, and this is going to be one of my major criticisms of Mike Bobo and his play calling. I felt, and we're not going to get to so many of these plays because they're just kind of boring, but I thought they could have done more of this, right? A lot more misdirection in this game instead of just very simple runs up the middle that were not going anywhere. And here you're getting an easy completion. You're getting one of the best players in the sport out in space. And I felt Georgia just did not do a good enough job of mixing things up, in particular on first. All right, so we get to the 2nd and 7, and this is just good, simple running right here, okay? You get a little lucky that Alabama is running a stunt away from where you're actually running the football. So 91 is cutting to the inside. So that essentially leaves two gaps open right here. And all you have to do is make sure you seal him to this inside, kick this guy out, and Milton's just got to win a foot race. But this was a good job by Van Pran to get to the second level off this double. Once again, 91, like they were supposed to. They seal him to the inside, and that leaves a wide open hole for Milton to run through. That is a perfectly blocked run play, and there just wasn't a whole lot of that today for Georgia. But, man, that was really good stuff, and it was a little lucky that, you had the stunt as well. All right, so Georgia gets another stop, and now this is time for the Bulldogs to run away with this early on. I love this play design, okay? It looks like you're just running a typical, just power counter run play, whatever, where you're pulling this guy around, pulling this tight end around. It looks like some counter GY action, but it's not. It's a play action fake, and Brock Bowers is slipping into the flats, okay? Now, what is very interesting here is this is one of the best plays I've seen a safety make this season, Malachi Moore, okay? Now, I want you to see this, all right? Downs would eventually tackle Bowers if this play was perfectly blocked, but this is at least a 7 or 8 yard gain if Lovett, the transfer from Missouri, can make a very simple block right here. Okay, he's got all the leverage in the world. This safety is pinned inside. All you need to do is get a semi-decent block, and you would prefer him to cut this way instead of across your face. And you'll see right here, Lovett just gets way too flat. Moore sees what's happening here, and this is just amazing processing. Okay, Moore sees that this block is coming down right here. All right, so once he feels that, he knows that this is probably a slip, that this this wide receiver came to block him. And look, instead of looking at the play action fake, he is already reading that this is where this play is going. So watch this. He's not even looking at the ball. He knows that this is going to be a little flat, little slip right here because, remember, they got him on the first play on the last drive. And Lovett just has the worst missed block you'll ever see. And this is huge, right? Does Downs for sure tackle Bowers here? I don't know, but it's at least a 7 yard gain. Lovett, a major, major, major miss. All right, so Alabama, drives down. They score a field goal, and we get back to the Georgia offense right here. Man, I just don't really get this, right? I thought that they took this game out of Carson Beck's hands. All right, this is a play that they've run a lot, right? This quick pitch to the boundary. Alabama's ready for it, right? They knew going into this game that they would have to stop this. And versus Ole Miss, they also showed the ability to stop this boundary side pitch, okay? And everything's just getting blown up. Dallas Turner beats his block. 17 beats his block as well. You can argue right here, is this a little hands to the face action? Yes. So that should have been a penalty right there. But still, they're ready for that play. This is really good misdirection right here from the Crimson Tide. They've shown on film the ability to just run a jet sweep handoff right there, but instead they're running a little backside run to the left side, and you'll see the true freshman linebacker, Allen right here, really get caught up in it, and he just sees it late. And Roydell Williams has a really good bounce read right here, and now you just need a safety to step up here and make a big tackle, and, well, he can't do it, right? Alabama just made more plays. 2nd and 10, and this is what LSU should have done versus Alabama, right? 2 QB spies. Make Jalen Milroe beat you from the pocket. And you'll see that the protection here is really good. And Milroe has wide open guys, right? So if you're going to run this QB spy stuff, guys are eventually going to get open, right? So Milroe has the tight end right here. He does a good job, getting the ball more vertically down the field to the dig, crossing over the middle. And Prentice makes a really nice catch. And that is a nasty shake right there. Starks and the Georgia DBs really struggled making tackles in the open field, and they pick up a few extra yards. And we get to this 4th and 1, and this ends up being one of the biggest plays of the game because they miss one of the most critical blocks. Stackhouse is able to shed this block pretty quickly right here on the center, and he's through, right? You also have Bullard, one of your best playmakers, off the edge right here. And this is an opportunity to stuff them. If you were to tell me at this frame right here, would Georgia stop Williams right here on this 4th and 1, I would say yes. But they don't, right? This is an opportunity to make a big, big, big play, and you just don't make it. You catch the tackle, and he picks up a first. It's a tough play, but they get it. Out of all the plays that Georgia missed, this would be the one that would infuriate me the most. Bad snap to the right here, but they are just running mesh rail. Okay, this is the most common play run throughout the SEC from team to team, right? If you want to see our Georgia, Tennessee breakdown where Georgia ran this at will, you just got to account for everybody. And the first read on mesh rail, you see Milroe's looking right at the running back, is the running back, okay? And he just doesn't get picked up. Was this 24's man? Was it this man? I don't know. But you're just trying to create as much traffic over the middle for Milroe just to make this very simple throw. And, I'm guessing it was 5's man. And that is just horrible. Okay, and you could see Kirby Smart just furious right here. And you give him an untouched walk-in touchdown right there. Very, very, very frustrating. You'll see it right here. It's a tough play. It's a tough play. Maybe he was thinking 24 was going to pick him up and you pass off this tight end right here. Whatever the case may be, that is just not good, right? You want to see Milroe do something else other than give him this. All right, so 1st and 10, and this is one of the best plays of the game by Carson Beck. I don't know why Georgia just didn't decide, hey, let's just keep throwing on 1st down. I would have done that, right? Because of things like this. It's just really, really, really good stuff. I know it's cut off, and there was another angle that showed his full process right here, all right? He's thinking about throwing to Bowers right here. And then at the last second, instead of throwing it, he works back to the in-breaker from Jackson, Rosemy-Jacksaint, and he is wide open. That is really good processing, good pass protection, and, he breaks a tackle and gains some nice yards right there. Yeah, once again, they had a run on 1st down that went for nothing, and now it's a run again, and this is just how it's supposed to look, right? If they know you're going to hand this football off, they know it's more than likely going to be this way, okay? They like their numbers with players pulling around right here, but watch this end set this edge. He's coming down violent and bang, okay? That is really good stuff to really force this to bounce and also, make Milton go further this way. And then obviously when you set this edge like this, right, this makes it harder for Delp to get to the next level and get this player. So while Lawson gets the, sexy tackle right here, this was all made by 91, right? Because Delp can't get to the next level, and Milton is right there ready to be brought down for a loss. All right, so now we get to this 3rd and 12. Alabama shows blitz. They back out of it, all right? And they actually end up only rushing 4 with the very simple twist stunt right here. Now, what happens? Well, it looks like they're running some variation of smash, and smash, of course, is a deep out here, and this player out into the flats, and Carson Beck doesn't want to throw this because McKinstry is right here ready to pounce on this. So I would have loved to have seen an all-22 angle of this right here, but it looks like McKinstry has good depth to play both of these routes. Then over here, it looks like we're running 2 goes with 2 banged-up, gimpy players. I'm guessing Alabama just has this covered. No in-breaking stuff over the middle. And the thing is, when you're in these 3rd and 12 situations like this, okay, what makes it very difficult is you're probably not going to get all 12 of the yards. You do, however, want to avoid a sack to not make this a more difficult field goal. And you also want to maybe gain some yards to where it's a little bit shorter of a 4th down opportunity, but instead you take a sack. This is a really, really, really good pass rush move right here by Dallas Turner. Just a stab, and he just has his hand right into this guy's chest. And look at all this push, and he's able to get off this holding right here and make this sack. Just a big, big, big time football player. And Georgia ends up missing a field goal to tie the game after a delay of game penalty, and the delay of game penalty actually cost him the field goal, right? The ball probably would have gone in. If you saw the field goal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so move ahead here to this 4th and 4, a fun little game of cat and mouse. Obviously, Nick Saban called a timeout and then decided to go for it. I'm guessing Georgia potentially thought that they called the timeout to send the punt team unit on. They didn't. So guess what? Georgia has to play defense on this 4th and 4, and they actually do bring pressure, okay? They end up bringing 2 second-level guys, and this DB is right here as your QB spy, right? And everything is picked up to perfection, okay? Another thing here is everything is covered on the back end, all right? So this is good coverage, but this is better blitz pickup, and eventually Milroe has to make this throw, and the funny thing about this throw is that this was all arm. Okay, you'll see this is not good mechanics, right? He is throwing off his back leg. You'll notice his footwork gets bouncy, and instead of stepping into this throw, I understand that there's a guy right here. He's actually throwing this ball as a floater off his back leg, which makes it that much more impressive, okay? Look at where he puts this ball. Now, of course, if he's stepping into it, you would think that this ball would be a little bit more this way, but Bond has to adjust to it. He does do a good job of giving only Bond a chance to catch it, and he did not catch that football. The ball did hit the ground. I am shocked that nobody for Georgia forced a review. Now we get to the 2nd and 10, and Jermaine Burton against his old team going up against a corner with inside leverage. This is just an amazing route right here by Burton. And once again, it's his pass protection. Okay? Now, part of the pass protection's job is to keep their pass rush lanes, right? So you notice there's not many rips or swims or any kind of pass rush moves here. Part of it is you're trying to force Milroe to throw instead of just run. Okay, so he's able to sit in this pocket, and this time he steps into it, throws an absolute dot right here to Burton, who makes a ridiculously difficult catch in tight coverage. Bah! Look at that, too. So if you want to support independent film studies, or if you are a big media organization, you want me to join your forces, hit me up. But honestly, until that happens, your donations go a long way. A super thanks is always greatly appreciated. This is, to me, the truth about Georgia versus Alabama. And I'm going to give you something that no one else is going to mention. All right, so it's 3rd and 1, and Georgia comes here with an unbalanced line. So for those that don't know what an unbalanced line is, that's when you have one extra offensive lineman to the right of the center. So in theory, this is kind of sort of a balanced line because Brock Bowers is the offensive tackle, but instead of Bowers being the tight end, he's a tackle, and you bring one extra beefy body here. Okay, now in this 3rd and 1, you could think that this could be a quarterback sneak, but Georgia says, look, that's a long yard for us to get. Let's get to Daijun Edwards. He's been our go-to short yardage guy. So Georgia motions Oscar Delp to the right side, and I want you to see what actually happens here, okay? So Georgia, instead of running like a typical short handoff, they're running a quick pitch, right? Which has already been stopped that you saw earlier in the film study, but this is under center. That was obviously out of shotgun. But I want you to see the numbers, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys for Alabama to the left of the center. Now, take a look at how many guys Alabama has over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And that doesn't include the center, 7, who with this defensive tackle is just nowhere close to making this play. So, if you're Georgia, you have to feel pretty daggum good that you are going to get this yard. You're able to seal this edge right here, and all you need is Daijun Edwards to bang this thing on up in there. You get a nice little block right here on Jihad Campbell, and now it's there. It's there. So what happened? Well, a lot. In these games, one thing, and this is the honest truth, I'm going to give this to you here, is Georgia's wide receivers were awful as blockers. Okay, I know number 11, Smith, who's a really fast guy, ended up making an absolutely massive catch, but he blows not one but 2 assignments here. In this spot, the block doesn't need to be perfect, all right? I just need you here to block either McKinstry or Moore, all right? Now, for me, I would prefer you block McKinstry. Now, it might be taught for him that he is blocking Moore the entire time. So if that's the case, you leave McKinstry, and I'm guessing Delp picks up McKinstry, and then it's one-on-one to the outside. I prefer him block McKinstry because if you block McKinstry, that could block off Malachi Moore. But watch what happens here. He misses not just McKinstry, he also completely misses Moore. All right? So, if you block either or, guess what? You probably have a decent shot of picking this up. All right? I know for sure if he blocks McKinstry, or at least creates a collision here to block McKinstry and then go to Moore, then guess what? You're picking up this yard. But he doesn't. He picks up neither, so this leaves McKinstry right here in the hole. And if you're Daijun Edwards right here, you just got to bang it up. You really do, okay? I think if he doesn't try to cut to the outside right here, he's got a legitimate shot to get skinny and bang it up right here. Instead, he just takes a really bad angle. So that's not great running back play either, but that's also horrible blocking on the edge. So remember earlier when 5, Rodell Williams had the bounce to the outside? This time, look at that. That is excellent, excellent stuff. You can't do that any better. I mean, that is just teach tape. Notice there's push pretty much everywhere else, but this guy's getting 2-gapped really badly. Look at him peeking around. And then after peeking around, shedding the... God, you just can't do it any better than that, y'all. 13. My goodness gracious. That is... You're teaching everyone, all the young edge players out there, how to play that. That's perfect. We get the first down, and this has always been my case. If you can't block as a receiver, show me something down the field. Right? Justify your lack of blocking skills. Carson Beck has a pretty clean pocket, throws a pretty good ball right here. Obviously, if you lead him, he is scoring, but it is behind him. He does make this catch. I know it was reviewed. I was shocked that this one was reviewed and not Isaiah Bond, but Smith steps up. So once again, if you lead him, it's a touchdown. Eventually, Georgia does have to settle for a field goal, and it, of course, is good. 3rd and 4, big questionable call right here. All right. Unblocked edge pressure coming right here, and he does a good job not letting Milroe break that contain. I do believe his shin was down on a different replay, but obviously in that spot, more often than not, they're not going to call him down. So ref made a good call right there, but some Alabama fans probably disagree with me. All right, I just did not like this from Georgia all game. Just way too many first down runs. I understand you're backed up, but, man, the downs is just right here. And they had just been keying your runs, and you weren't really moving them a whole lot in the running game anyway. I mean, everything is just stalemated right here. So even if Downs didn't make the play, it was just dead. 1st and 15, obviously a big play in this game, and it's just a self-inflicted wound, right? When the game is this close, these things just begin to pile up, and you still have a chance to get this fumble right here, and Bama gets it, okay? Only thing about this here is in this spot, if you're Bell and you drop this, I need you getting in this pile. I understand that it looks like this ball is already recovered, but I need you to get in there because, look, it's still being fought for, right? I would have liked to have seen that. Now, eventually, you try to come and make a tackle, but of course, he was already down, but still. So now we get to here. It's just 1st and 10. I like the fact that they're throwing here on 1st down. Man, this is just not good quarterbacking. You know, you're coming out of the quarter. More than likely, you're running a play that you feel pretty good about. And obviously, can't throw this. Safety's right here. I don't know what these are right here, okay? But if you look at this pocket does begin to fall apart. Braswell does eventually get this edge. This DT does have a lot of pressure, but this is also a very deep drop right here from Carson Beck. Keep 2 hands on the ball, reset, and bang, you're hitting this right here. Keep your eyes down the field. He panics in a major way right here and takes, to me, a very unnecessary sack. All right, 2nd and 8, and this is just how to play Jalen Milroe. I thought Georgia did a really good job guarding him. I really do. Especially if you factor in the Isaiah Bond 4th down play going Milroe's way. Milroe made some amazing plays in this one, but that is just, this is just how you do it. Look at this. Nobody out of their rush lanes. You can't really run anywhere. And Milroe likes to hold on to that thing till the very last second. And if you get A-gap pressure like you did right there from 97, you're eventually going to get a sack. Good stuff. So this gets cut off here on this punt return. But what happened here on this punt return is Georgia did something really smart. So they actually had 2 guys back deep for this punt return. So Muse, who is their number 1 punt returner, is back here. And by being back here, that makes these players think that the punt could be going here, but it's actually going here. So this is another punt returner, number 17. I believe his name is Green. Okay, so he's getting it, and you see that these 2 defenders, these are 2 of their faster players. They are committed to stopping Muse, who's one of the best punt returners in the SEC. And now you have 2 less people here to make this tackle. You get some really good blocks right here. And I thought for sure he was going to score. I really do. And the guy who ends up making the tackle, he just kind of runs into the punter right there. But eventually, that is a really good return and a really good design by Georgia. So once again, 1st and 10. This is ridiculously good quarterback play. Get a play action fake, and this is Downs, one of the safeties. He's in this box. So he knows that this is man-to-man right here, all right? And he wants to get McConkey, and he throws an absolute freaking dart bang, right to his back shoulder. And that's a really, really, really good tackle right there at the goal line. And it's kind of cut off here, but Georgia hurries up to the line, and they get a nice little rushing touchdown on the QB sneak from Carson Beck. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 2, and earlier on the drive, this is actually Isaiah Bond out of the backfield, all right? So this was a play that Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs just killed everybody with, okay? To start the drive, they hit something very similar to Bond, all right? This is called an angle route. Running back runs out here, and then he cuts back over the middle, okay? So Jace McClellan is actually good at the angle route as well, but he wasn't in this game. So they move Bond to the running back position to run the angle, and you'll see he actually does get open again, okay? So this could be thrown right here, okay? He thinks about it. Now, why doesn't he throw it? Well, this receiver is actually stacked on top of him. So it's actually Jalen Hell that actually created a log jam right here. It's very awkward. Now, why is this awkward? Well, it's because Georgia just jammed everything right here. All right, Hale had a difficult time getting through here, okay? So, boom, he doesn't want to throw it. It's there. It could be thrown, and it's probably getting completed right there, but Milroe doesn't like it. Plus, there's also a lot of pressure over the middle, okay? Georgia's running a little loop stunt with their interior players right up the gut, and it's actually picked up okay, but it forced Milroe to get off his platform there, and now this gives 33 a chance to come up here and just make this play, and at the very last second, Bond, who was running here, is able to run back over here, and he's open for a first down. There's really not a whole lot you could do about that, right? It's a longer developing play. Maybe you could have made a tackle right there to mitigate the damage, but that's just a really good play. Now, we get to the next Isaiah Bond play, all right? They're running a shallow drag with Bond, and he just kind of gets lost here. Once again, a good jam right there by Georgia. And you'll see that there is a lot of traffic for Bond to get through. Now, in a perfect world, maybe the linebacker should have ran with Bond right here, but he doesn't. He does get a jam right here on Bond. Bang, it's actually a pretty good one. And this shallow drag that started right here is actually 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And if you pay attention to Milroe enough, he's always going to stare down his target, okay? Look, this is a very long time for Milroe to be looking at Bond. There's just nobody over here, okay? Shallow drags, and LSU had a lot of success with that this year. And, yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of space for him to step up and make a play. And in a perfect world, you would have loved to have seen him just score here. They reviewed it, and eventually Alabama does get in after a first down play, so they were able to burn more clock. And if you're Georgia, you kind of just want them to score here. And once again, you have him stopped up, right? He actually left his feet, but you still can't make a play, right? Roydell Williams, his second time he got Georgia on his second effort, and he scores. All right, move ahead to this 4th and inches. Georgia driving. You got to have it. And 56. God, that's just superb stuff. Okay? I'm blown away by this. Look at that. When you really needed it, you just push this guy completely out of this hole. That is really good stuff right there. Edwards is able to hit it. Game goes on. 1st and 10. Looks like Alabama didn't have their calls in right. And you're getting Brock Bowers going up against a flat-footed safety. All right. Good throw right here. Pretty good pocket. And you lead Brock Bowers right there. Muse also had a big catch on this drive as well. Now, the reason why I bring up 56 is Georgia actually called a timeout to get 56 in at fullback right here. You motion Brock Bowers out. 4th and inches. All right, obviously you have to blow a lot of time and a timeout to get to this spot. And now you just got to, make this work. It's a very unusual design right here. It's a short pull, right? Normally when you see a puller, he's going from around the center to another side of the line of scrimmage. This time you're pulling the guard to be a second lead blocker, if you will. So 73 blocks down. Oscar Delp blocks down. 53 comes to kick out Malachi Moore. And now you need the big play right here made by 56. Okay? And watch this. Bang. When you really needed it, gets another critical block, and he's cooking. That is really, really good stuff. And you'll see it right here. Okay? It's an unusual design. Very unusual design. All right? But it works. And I love to see it. 56, you just can't do that much better than that. And now you just see Milton to get skinny, all right, and he scores. All right, so it's 1st and 10. You had the momentum. They got to ice this game away. And you get, once again, a rough snap. Was this actually supposed to actually be handed off? It's impossible to tell because the snap was so bad. So Milroe is running with this. So 7, his job is Isaiah Bond on the jet sweep. And they're pulling some people around. Get a good block right here by Proctor to get him to the inside. So this is a huge hole for Milroe to run through, which is kind of weird considering he's going to run it. There was no other running back in the backfield. Now, you get to here. Milroe at the head of steam is as good as any back you're going to see, and he's a quarterback. Tough game for Starks and Bullard. Really tough game. Now, they made some plays. We're obviously not breaking down every play, but I need you right here to do something. All right? Loses his footing on his own. All right? That wasn't a missed tackle or broken tackle or anything. And the thing is about missing this tackle and falling forward, that allowed Milroe this much more space to just run into. Okay? And that also cut off Mondin there a little bit as well. So that gives Milroe all these extra yards to run through. Good hustle right there by 18, and a good job by Milroe to fall down to keep the clock moving. So let's talk about the referees and just this overall game. As you'll see, both of these quarterbacks had decent QBRs and decent games. Neither one of these teams hit explosive plays. There was actually only one play of 30-plus yards hit in this game. Now, there was a lot of 20-plus yarders, but not a whole lot of 30s, right? It was just that deep shot to Smith, number 11. But outside of that, this game without the explosives still almost went over the total. I thought both defenses did well. The bottom line, though, was Alabama made fewer mistakes than Georgia did, right? Georgia failed to do the basic things, and Alabama did the basic things right. Take a look at the mesh railroad, whatever you want to call that play. Easy touchdown pass to the running back on his first read. Fumble on your own accord, which gives the football an easy 3 points for Alabama. Not executing simple wide receiver blocks. Those little things, even though the box score shows this game pretty much being dead even. And look, we can get into a debate about why wasn't that Isaiah Bond play reviewed? That is an absolutely huge play. There's just no other way around it. That's a 7-point swing right before half. That's on Georgia, though. You've got to stop the play and force them to review it. If you're Kirby Smart, run out onto the field. Do something. But, yeah, that was a very strange decision by the refs to not review it. But I did feel Alabama, just watching this game, was the better team. I thought that they deserved the result, and they got the result. So once again, there is a whole lot to be said about Georgia's performance in this one, but Alabama got out there, was given an extra lifeline on the 4th and 31 play from the week before, and they were able to get the job done. So let me know what you guys think down below. Am I wrong? Did the refs just rob Georgia out of an opportunity here? I'm going to sit and think about it, right? It was a great legendary battle between Kirby and Nick, and outside in the national championship game, Nick has had Kirby's number, right? And this is another chapter in that saga. So let me know, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Bam! And tonight, we're doing tacos. Let's freaking go!